Okay, this is going to be fun, Facebook. This is my very first ever live event. So I've never done one of these before, similar to Periscope, but Facebook. And super excited. So I'm going to tell you about my story. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, why I'm walking around in a sports bra and shorts in the middle of Miami Beach. After leaving this weekend from a life-changing event in Palm Beach, Florida, for the very first time, I was able to see Tony Robbins and attend the Unleashing the Power Within event in Palm Beach. Sorry, I got interrupted by a phone call, but honestly, I didn't know what to expect going in. I know Tony Robbins is an incredible speaker, and he works with some of the most successful people on the planet, and I know that he's helped a lot of people change their life and change their mentality and change all of the things that they tell themselves, and that helps them unleash their power within and helps them get to a place that they know that they want to be in life. And I did not know that I did not know exactly how successful he was, and I also didn't know how much he loved people, and that's truly the reason why he is as successful as he is. So what I'm going to do, I actually missed my 6 a.m. flight this morning. I was supposed to be back in Nashville, driving back to Memphis, and I decided to make the most out of today and change my flight to tomorrow and spend a day in Miami. I've never been to Miami Beach before. I've been to Fort Lauderdale, but since I was here, I was staying with a friend who has an incredible condo right on the water, and I told him this morning. He asked me what I was going to do, and I said, well, I need to go for a run, because for those of you that don't know, I'm training for the half marathon in Nashville, and it's at the end of April, and for the last 6 days I haven't been able to run. And he said, oh, well, you need to go run across the Venetian Bridge. And I said, well, how far is it? He says, don't worry about it, just go. So I started running. I really didn't even look at my map to see exactly where I was going, but just to think about all the things that I have learned and taken in over the last couple of days. And as I'm running, I'm realizing how close I am to the actual beach. And so I just keep running, and I'm listening to Pitbull, who did a surprise performance at the Tony Robbins event, and keep running, listening to Pitbull, waving at people, smiling at people, and just having fun. And all of a sudden I realized that I'm only like a mile from the beach. And for those of you that don't know, the beach is one of my favorite places on the planet. I can be happy in front of any waves crashing and any sand on my feet. And so I kept running. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make the beach my office today. And so that's what I did. I came here and I sat and I just thought about some of the biggest things that I learned being at the Tony Robbins event this weekend. And probably the biggest thing I learned is that if you have any kind of goal, doesn't matter what it is, if you have any kind of goal and you're not there yet, the constant thing that I realized that I've been thinking about for so long, because I guess I can kind of start from the very beginning of my story, because this video will actually post to Facebook. I started at a very early age, always trying to go above and beyond and be an overachiever. So, from being in gymnastics at a very young age to being always making straight A's or trying to make straight A's to please my parents and to feel like I had accomplished something. And then from moving into gymnastics and always trying to be number one, and then moving into high school where I always wanted to not only make straight A's but make all my teachers happy. And I definitely got teased and hated on for being a brown noser. In fact, I was actually my junior year. We did Wills and Prophecies my junior year in high school, and I was left behind. I was left behind a mirror so that I could see the brown smudge on my nose and a napkin so that I can wipe it off. That's what I was known for in high school, was a brown noser. But I didn't see it that way. To me, I was happy by making myself proud for doing well in school and having good relationships. And and that's how I moved on to being. I ran for student body president, and I actually ran for class president my junior year, or sophomore year, but got beat. But I still continued. I always wanted to be the best, and so then I started cheering, and then I always wanted to be the best at that, and so I always worked really, really hard. And so one of the biggest takeaways that I had from this weekend is I've got really big dreams and goals. I am going to retire my mom. I'm gonna be free and change a ton of lives through health and fitness over the course of my life, over the next several years. And I know these things. And the thing that's been holding me back is that, and I learned this about myself, the limiting belief that I had was that I would never truly be successful because I'm constantly trying to please someone else or myself. Like my limiting belief was that I would be disappointed or embarrassed if I didn't get to a goal that I said I wanted to accomplish because I said I was going to do it. And so that's been a limiting belief of mine, is that, what's everybody going to think? What am I going to think about myself? I'm going to be discouraged. I'm going to be let down. And I don't do these things that I say I'm going to do. From the time that I attended my very first ever Visalis convention, and over 4 years ago, and I saw somebody who was making $30,000 a month and went from not being able to put food on the table for her daughter to making that amount of income and living the life of her dreams. That's when I decided, hey, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to change a ton of lives, and I'm going to make a lot of money, and I'm going to be free. And so from that point forward, I told everybody I'm going to be a bimillionaire. and I'm going to travel the world. And I've been extremely fortunate to always, work my butt off in cheerleading as well, and to be able to travel internationally and meet so many incredible people. But the limiting belief that I constantly had was, I'll never truly be successful because if I don't achieve these things, then I'm going to be let down, or I'm going to be embarrassed because I've told so many people, I've gone public with so many people that that's what I want. And so one of the things that Tony Robbins said at his event, Unleashing the Power Within, this weekend was, most people never choose, or they always choose the path of least resistance. And from day one, what I learned about myself is I've never chosen the path of least resistance. I've always tried to go above and beyond. And that's when I realized, I already am successful because I never choose the path of least resistance. And to be really, really good at anything, and to be able to make the income that you want to make, or to be able to be the best at whatever sport you're doing, there is no path of least resistance. You got to work hard, and you got to mess up a lot, and you got to be rejected, and you have to fail, and you have to be okay with it. And so this weekend was like a total release of all of these things that I've been holding inside of judgments against myself. Man, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet. And what I wanted to share, the reason why I decided to do this, my very first ever live event on Facebook, is because I want everyone else to know that you can do it too. Whether you're trying to be the best at whatever sport you're doing, or trying to be successful in your business, or in a relationship, you can do it too. And my mission is, for the rest of my life, is to help people live a healthier lifestyle, to be more confident, to feel good about themselves, and to be successful, and to also create entrepreneurs. That's my mission. And I'll never settle. And so the two things that Tony said during the event was we all have something in common. We have our two biggest fears. And, the first one is that we're not good enough, or that we'll never be enough. And the second one is that we're not going to be loved, or we won't be loved. And so that's what holds all of us back. Every single person in the entire world, that's what holds us back, those two fears. And the way to overcome those fears is first by realizing them and then not focusing on them. So finding things to focus on, like instead of focusing on, for me, that I won't ever be truly successful, understanding that I already am and it's part of the process. And same thing with those of you watching this. So over the next, I don't know if I'm going to do another one today. This is kind of fun. I was really nervous at first, but so let me know if you enjoyed it. But over the next, I don't know, day or two, I'm going to definitely be sharing some more of my biggest takeaways and tips. And if anyone wants to join me, absolutely let me know. And most importantly, the biggest thing of all is to freaking love yourself. That's what I got out of this event. I have never been in a place where so many people, there were 9,000 people there, so many people jumping up and down, screaming, high-fiving, hugging. It was absolutely unbelievable, and it was because we all felt loved. Like, we felt a connection. You could look at somebody and be like, you are a freaking rock star. And I remember giving somebody a high five as I left. He was a dentist in Portland, Oregon, I believe that's where he lived. And I gave him a high five, and I told him, you're going to own your health this year, because that's what he said that his biggest, the decision that he was going to make was that he was tired of being unhealthy. And y'all can imagine how excited I got, because that's what I do, is I help people change their health. But I didn't try to get him on my product or get him on my program. I just encouraged him. And he looked back at me when he gave me a high five, and he said, and you're going to be number one. And you're going to step up and be the leader that you want to be. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was good. Receiving that was really good. And I know that he felt just as good the same way. So my message to everyone watching right now is that you can accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish if you can start thinking about it and you focus on what you really want instead of focusing on what you're afraid you'll never have. And so I appreciate all of you watching my video. This is insane, and I look forward to where it goes from here. So everybody go have an amazing day. Freaking rock stars.